Good day, everyone. I am Angeline Adajar, your reporter for today. So Ma'am Judy, and Ma'am Carizza were assigned to discuss the topic about the business policies and strategies. Here, we are going to learn the definition of business policies and strategies, the importance of business policies and strategies, the difference between business policies and strategies, the steps of business policies, the main types of business policies, the features of an effective business policies, and the components of a business strategy. But first, let me give you a brief definition of the basic terms that we are going to use in this topic. Una ay ang policy. It is a statement of intent and is implemented as a procedure or protocol. Ito ay yung mga patakaran na ipinatutupad ng isang negosyo o kumpanya na siyang sinusunod ng mga empleyado na kabilang dito. Pangalawa ay ang strategy. It is a plan of action designed to achieve a long-term or overall aim. Ibig sabihin, ang strategy ay isang pangmatagalan at planadong pamamaraan ng isang negosyo o kumpanya upang maabot nito ang kaniyang layunin. Ngayon ay alamin naman natin kung ano nga ba ang business policy. Malamang marami na sa atin o lahat tayo ay pamilyar na sa mga business policies na ipinatutupad ng mga kumpanyang kinabibilangan natin. For example, ang employer mo ba ay nag-o-offer ng vacation leave? O di kaya ay may patakaran sa paggamit ng company assets? Ngayong panahon ng pandemya, ang employer mo ba ay may patakaran na kapag ikaw ay nakaramdam na ng sintomas ng COVID-19, ay maaari ka nang mag-work from home? Kung oo ang sagot mo sa mga katanungang ito, ang negosyo o kumpanyang kinabibilangan mo ay may tinatawag na internal business policies. Pero ano nga ba ang business policy? Business policies are the guidelines of a business to govern its actions. They define the limits within which decisions must be made. Ibig sabihin, ang business policies ay hindi lang nalilimit sa vacation leave, sa use of company assets, or sa sick leave. Ito rin ay ang mga kung paano magdesisyon ang isang negosyo o kumpanya tungkol sa mga issues na direktang makakaapekto sa kanilang tagumpay. For example, si Google. Si Google ay may tinatawag na 20% policy. So ano nga ba itong 20% policy ni Google? So employees at Google are allowed to use their 20% paid personal time para gumawa ng sarili nilang mga projects. To create projects on their own ideas. So sa ganitong paraan, nagbe-benefit yung mga empleyado ni Google kasi meron silang sariling time to work on their own projects, plus it increases the workplace satisfaction. Nagbe-benefit din naman dito sa 20% policy na ito si Google dahil halimbawa, in fact, most of the projects that were developed during the 20% paid personal time of their employees ay nagamit ni Google or napagkakitaan ni Google. Halimbawa na nga lang ng mga projects na ito ay yung Google Maps, Twitter, Gmail, yun. So, that is an example of a policy. Now, let us talk about business strategy. So, ano nga ba yung business strategies? Is it all about delivering superior profit or is it all about growing value? So, a business strategy refers to the actions and decisions that a company take to reach its business goals and to be competitive in the industry. Ibig sabihin, ang business strategy ay ang mga ginagawang aksyon at mga desisyon ng isang negosyo o kumpanya para makamit ang kanilang layunin nang sa gayon ay manatili sila sa kanilang industriya sa kabila ng mahigpit na kompetisyon. For example, si Jollibee. Ang goal ni Jollibee is to be the dominant #1 branded eat-out in the Philippines. So, for them to be able to achieve this goal, ay kailangan nilang mag-develop ng business strategies. And one of these business strategies na kanilang ginawa ay yung franchising. In fact, si Jollibee ay nakapag-open last year ng 273 stores dito sa Pilipinas, ending the year with 1,200 stores. Kumpara sa competitor nila, #1 competitor nila na si McDonald's, na nag-open lamang ng 58 new stores last year, ending the year with 669 stores. So by that, sila pa rin yung dominant #1 branded eat-out in the Philippines. So through their strategy of franchising, Jollibee remained to be the dominant #1 branded eat-out in the Philippines. So in summary, business strategy is all about making choices, deciding what you will do, and most importantly, what you want to do to achieve your goals. Now let us proceed to our second topic, which is the importance of business policies and strategies. So ano nga ba yung kahalagahan ng business policies? Sabi dito, it entails balance in the workplace. Halimbawa nga dito ay yung pagkakaroon ng isang kumpanya na tinatawag na vacation leave policy, which allows employees to have a work and life balance. Dito kasi yung mga empleyado ay allowed na mag-take ng break from the office na may bayad pa rin. So, parang it promotes work and life balance nga. Also, business policy is important because it provides the responsibility and liability of each position in an organization. Halimbawa naman dito ay yung use of company assets policy. Ang policy na ito ay nabuo to ensure that all property of the company are maintained or kept in the best possible working condition. So, it is the responsibility of the employee na pangalagaan yung company assets na panandalian nilang ginagamit sa kanilang kumpanya. And lastly, business policy is important because it provides the consequence of the violation of the policy in an organization. Halimbawa naman dito yung pagkakaroon ng sanctions or corrective actions once na ang employee ay mag-violate sa kahit anumang policy na ipinatutupad ng kumpanya. So in summary, importante ang business policy kasi nagbe-benefit dito both ang employee and the employer, and it encourages company growth and innovation. So bakit naman mahalaga yung business strategies? Sabi dito, it provides specific guide for the growth of the company. Ngayong taon, marami ng negosyo yung nalulugi dahil sa pandemic. Halimbawa na nga lang dito is yung mga fast food chains dito sa Pilipinas. So ano kaya yung mga naging guide or strategy nila para despite this pandemic ay mag-continue silang kumita, mag-generate ng sales ang kanilang stores. So una, nandiyan yung nagtatayo sila ng tents or yung silang tinatawag na park, order, and go, wherein hindi mo na kailangan pumasok physically dun sa store para kumain or bumili ng foods nila. Kasi di ba marami ngayon yung mga natatakot na mag-dine. So ang naging strategy nga nila is yung pagtatayo ng tent or yung park, order, and go para continuous yung pagkita nila despite the pandemic. That is why business strategies are important para sa isang business dahil sabi nga, ito yung magiging guide ng business para sila ay mag-grow. Now, let us move on sa aking last topic, which is the difference between business policies and business strategies. So, ano nga ba yung pinagkaiba nitong dalawa? Una, decision-oriented si policy, samantalang si strategy ay action-oriented. So, ano nga ba yung decision-oriented? Decision-oriented ang policy dahil ito ay mas concerned doon sa mga desisyon na ginagawa ng kanyang empleyado para sa paggamit ng long-term goals ng isang company. Samantalang si strategy naman ay action-oriented dahil mas concerned ito dun sa mga actions na gagawin ng mga empleyado base sa mga diskarte at plano kung paano may-utilize yung resources ng isang company in the most effective and efficient way to create a competitive advantage. For example, si Mang Inasal. Ang strategy niya para siya yung puntahan ng mga customers kesa din sa kanyang competitors is the 2-in-1 sa laki. So, maaari ang policy naman niya ay to buy live chicken with a minimum weight of 2 to 2.5 kilograms. Second difference is that yung policy ay for long-term growth, while si strategy is for short-term target. Bakit for long-term growth si policy? Kasi yung policy na sinet ng isang company ay pangmatagalan na, kumbaga magiging part na ito ng day-to-day decisions ng mga employees dun sa company na yun. At short-term naman yung strategy kasi ito ay maaaring magbago depending on the competitive situations, uncertainties, risks, and insecurities that are likely to happen in the future. Like for example, yung strategy, mababago yan kasi halimbawa ngayon, ngayong panahon ng pandemic, nababawasan yung sales ng mga companies. So ano yung strategies na kailangan natin baguhin? At panghuli, si policy It deals with the internal environment factors of the business, while si strategy, it deals with the external environment factors of the business. Ibig sabihin, si policy, nabuo siya base dun sa kung ano yung nangyayari dun sa loob ng isang kumpanya. While si strategy ay nabubuo naman base sa kung ano yung nangyayari sa labas ng kumpanya. So in summary, the difference between policy and strategy is a little complicated because policies come under the strategies. And apart from that, policies are made to support the strategies in several ways, like in accomplishing organizational goals and securing an advantageous position in the market. That will be all for my report. Next reporter is Ma'am Judy, and thank you for listening.
Good day, everyone. I am Judy Mae Miranda, and I will report features of an effective business policy, steps of business policy or business policy processes, major types of policies, and components of a business strategy. So the first one is features of an effective business policy. We have 8 features of business policy or features of an effective business policy. We have scrassives. Scrassives stands for S, specific, C for clear, R for reliable, A for appropriate, S for simple, I for inclusive, F for flexible, and S for stable. So the first one is specific. The policy must be specific or definite. If policy is not specific, the implementation of the policy must be inconsistent. So, ang example natin sa specific is, employees may not park in the guest parking lot. So, it is specific. Ibig sabihin, yung mga empleyado daw ay hindi pwedeng mag-park sa guest parking lot. Maybe meron silang sa kanilang parking or maybe maliit kasi yung parking lot ng kanilang store kaya ginawa nilang policy na the employees may not park in the guest parking lot. So yon, the policy must be specific. So the second one is clear. The policy must be unambiguous. So it must be clear. Sabi nga, it should avoid using jargons and connotation words. Then the third one is reliable or uniform. Policy must be uniform enough so that it can be efficiently followed by the subordinates. So for example, sa construction sites, may nakalagay sa harap nila na paalala, which is anyone entering construction sites must have a protective hat, shoes, glass on at all times. So katulad lang din ng protocol ngayong pandemic na before, during, and after the work, kailangan suot ang PPEs. For example, the face shield and the face mask, and always wash our hands and alcohol. And then the fourth one is appropriate. Policy should be appropriate to the organizational goals. So, syempre, kailangan it is connected to the organizational goals to achieve their goals. Then the fifth one is simple. The policy should be simple and easily understood by all in organization. So, katulad lang din ng example sa ating specific, which is employees may not park in the guest parking lot. Then the sixth one is inclusive or comprehensive. In order to have wide scope, policy must be or must comprehensive. So for example, business attire is required at all time in the office. So yun, it must be inclusive. Then the seventh one is flexible. It can be used in routine scenarios. So pwede siyang gamitin sa iba't ibang scenario. Then the eighth one is stable. Refers to the implementation if an accident arises, the policy should be stable. So for example, yung kasing kunyari mo nasa conference room, so meeting, may mga tumatawag, may mga nagte-text, tapos may mga ringtones. So may policy ang business na cell phones are not allowed in the conference room. So yun. So these are the features of an effective business policy. We have 8 features of an effective business policy. Again, we have specific, clear, reliable, appropriate, simple, inclusive, flexible, and stable. So the next topic is steps of business policy or business policy processes. So we have four steps of business policy processes or steps in business policy. We have the first one is environmental scanning, policy policy formulation, policy implementation, and evaluation and control. So the first step is environmental scanning. Environmental scanning is the monitoring, evaluating, and disseminating of information from the external and internal environment. So ibig sabihin po, ang pinaka simplest way to conduct the environmental scanning is yung tinatawag nating SWOT analysis. Ano nga ba ang SWOT analysis? So, SWOT uh, meaning is strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So strength and weaknesses is the internal environment of a corporation consists of internal environment. It consists of variables that are with the organization, so internal nga siya. Then the opportunities and threats is the external environment consists of variables that are outside the organization. So it may be become the customers or the clients. So yun yung opportunities and threats. By the use of SWOT analysis, malalaman natin kung ano ba yung dapat na policy to achieve our goals. So the second step is policy formulation. Policy formulation is the development of long-range plans for the effective management of environment opportunities and threats in light of corporate strengths and weaknesses. So, dito naman sa policy formulation, syempre, gagamitin natin yung ating strength and weaknesses para yung plano natin is ma-achieve natin, which is it includes defining the corporate mission, specifying achievable objectives, developing strategies, and setting policy guidelines. So dito sa policy formulation, kailangan makabuo tayo or makagawa tayo ng mission, kung ano ba yung mission natin. Specifying achievable objectives, kung ano ba yung objectives natin na dapat ma-achieve, and then developing strategies, kung ano yung mga strategies like yung gamitin na natin yung 4Ps sa product, price, place, and promotion kasi hinahanap din naman siya sa SWOT analysis. So, and then the setting policy guidelines. So, ito na tayo sa policy formulation, gagawa na tayo ng policy. And then the third one is policy implementation. Implementation is the process by which strategies and policies are put into action through the development of programs, budgets, and procedures, and etc. So, dito sa policy implementation, ito na yung itatry na natin yung policy natin kung it will develop the organization or the business itself, and then doon na susunod yung evaluation and control kung na-achieve ba yung gusto nating ma-achieve. Then, the fourth one nga is evaluation and control. Evaluation and control is the process in which corporate activities and performance results are monitored so that actual performance can compared with desired performance. So, di ba meron tayong dating policies na kung saan i-compare natin kung yung bago bang policy is mas naging mataas yung output ng ating mga empleyado. So, dito sa evaluation and control, malalaman natin yung feedback na kung saan ito bang policy na to is achievable ba siya or dapat ba siyang gamitin, angkop ba siyang gamitin to achieve the organizational or the business goal. So again, the four steps of business policy or business policy processes, we have environmental scanning, policy formulation, implementation, and then evaluation and control. So the next topic is all about main types of business policy or three main types of business policy. The first one is basic policies. Basic policies, these are framed by the top management and spell out the basic approach of a company to its activities and its environment. So, for example, ng basic policies is yung working hours. So, iba't iba yung mga working hours ng company. So, the basic policies depende sa, for example, kung ngayon depende sa working hours, which is yung iba 8 hours, yung iba 10 hours, kasama na dun yung break. So, that is basic policies. And then the second one is general policies. General policies, these are framed by the middle management or middle level management and are more specific. They apply to large segments of the organization. So, an example sa general policy is the safety of the employees. So, providing safe working conditions and maintaining continuity of employment is of continual concern. In this regard, it is important that adequate policies procedures be developed and adhered to in order to ensure safe efficient operating conditions. So, yun. Thereby, safeguarding employees and the facilities. So, yun ang example ng general policy, the safety of their employees. At the same time, with the supervisors or the yung mas mataas pa. The third type is specific policies. These are framed by the foremen and supervisors and are very specific in the nature. They are applicable in the routine. So, yung specific policies naman, ito naman yung example, business meetings. So, pupuntahan yung mga empleyado, may specific time or schedule na kung saan pupuntahan ni supervisor yung mga employees niya. So, may mga business meet. So, yun, kakamustahin. And then, ito yung mga policies na kung saan ah, para siyang nakaschedule na kung saan this is applicable sa routine activities na for example nga by the foreman. So, di ba sa mga construction sites, may mga foreman na kung saan binibisita nila yung uh, yung pro yung yung trabaho ng mga trabahador nila. So those are the three main types of policies: the basic policies, general policies, and specific policies. And the last topic is all about components of a business strategy. So we have vision and business objectives, core values, SWOT analysis, tactics, resource allocation plan, and the measurement. So the first one is vision and business objectives. So isa itong sa components ng business strategy because in order to have a business strategy, syempre you must have first your vision and business objectives. So dapat may time frame ka na kung saan you want to achieve this specific goal. Then the second one is core values. So dapat yung business strategy mo is related sa core values ng inyong business. Then the third is SWOT analysis. So sabi nga natin kanina, SWOT analysis is for the collecting data of internal and external organization. So with this, makakatulong to sa business strategy kasi malalaman yung opportunities and threats, which is yung mga hinahanap ng ating customers or clients sa ating business. Then the fourth one is tactics. Ito yung talagang may time frame ka. Dapat sa araw na ito, may quota kayo na ganito, dapat ma-achieve yung goal nyo na ganito. So, yun yung tactics. And then, resource allocation plan naman, it is all about kung how, where, and who will locate the resources. So, sa resource allocation plan, kailangan din to para sa business strategy. So, resource allocation plan kung saan kukuha ng resources, kung saan ilalagay ang resources para mas maging, para less time and less effort, kailangan may plano. And then the sixth one is the measurement. So sa measurement, para lang tong ding tactics, may time frame kung kailan dapat ma-achieve yung specific goal. So those are the components of a business strategy. Vision and and business objectives, core values, SWOT analysis, tactics, resource allocation plan, and the measurement. So, doon po nagtatapos ang aming report. I hope na may naintindihan po kayo sa aming report. Thank you and God bless.